Let's settle down, find our seats. Thank you very much. Okay. We're settling down, ¿verdad? Thank you very much. Good morning, one and all, and welcome to the 2024-2025 Poetry Out Loud TASIS Dorado School Contest. Woo! Poetry Out Loud is a national arts education program that encourages the study of great poetry through a dynamic recitation competition to high schools across the United States and its territories. This program helps students master public speaking skills, build self-confidence, and learn about literary history and contemporary life. Poetry Out Loud Puerto Rico is a partnership of the National Endowment for the Arts, Poetry Foundation, and el Instituto de Cultura Puertorriqueña. Since 2005, it has grown to reach more than 3.8 million students and 60,000 teachers from 16,000 schools in every state, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The winner of today's contest will advance to the regional and/or state competitions that will take place next semester, after which they will have the opportunity to move on to the finals in Washington, D.C. Today's contest consists of 2 rounds, and each contestant will be evaluated based on accuracy, performance, physical presence, voice and articulation, interpretation, evidence of understanding, and overall performance. Our judges today are lovely members of our faculty, Josie Cepero, Omar Gonzalez, Sara Rampola, and Sadi Rosado. We are also lucky enough to count on Kimberly Garcia as our prompter, as well as Laura Burgos and Rafael Hernandez as our official talliers. Thank you all for being here. Now, as an audience, that's you, it is very important that we refrain from clapping or celebrating until after each round is finished. This means that after each contestant gives their performance, we will wait quietly while the judges score, and we can move on to the next performance. This will allow the judges to focus and prevent our other contestants from becoming distracted. Once the round is over, I will give the go-ahead and we can all celebrate our contestants. Now, without further ado, it is time for our very first contestant. Representing, at least do like the little, okay, we'll do that. Okay, we'll do that one. Now, without further ado, it is time for our very first contestant. Representing the junior class, Gabriela Bailey Rousseau.
We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile. With torn and bleeding hearts, we smile and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but oh great Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh the clay is vile beneath our feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise. We wear the mask.
Let's give our judges a moment to score the performance. Our judges need a little bit of silence so that they're able to calculate the performance. you. All right. Also representing the junior class, we have Charles Bouchard.
Life Cycle of Common Man by Howard Nemerov. Roughly figured, this man of moderate habits, this average consumer of the middle class, consumed, in the course of his average lifespan, just under 500,000 cigarettes, 4,000 fifths of gin, and about a quarter as much vermouth. He drank maybe 100,000 cups of coffee. And counting his parents' share, it cost something like $500,000 to put him through life. How many beasts died to provide him with meat, belt, and shoes cannot be certainly said. But anyhow, it is in this way that a man travels through time, leaving behind him a lengthening trail of empty bottles and bones, of broken shoes, frayed collars, and worn out or outgrown diapers and dinner jackets, silk ties and slickers. Given the energy and security thus achieved, he did what? The usual things, of course. The eating, dreaming, drinking, and begetting. And he worked for the money, which was to pay for the eating, etc., which were necessary if he were to go on working for the money. But chiefly, he talked. As the bottles and bones accumulated behind him, the words proceeded steadily from the front of his face as he advanced into the silence and made it verbal. Who can tally the tale of his words? A lifetime would barely suffice for their repetition. If he merely printed all his commas, the result would be a very large volume. And the number of times he said, "Thank you," or "Very little sugar, please," would stagger the imagination. There were also witticisms, platitudes, and statements beginning with, "It seems to me," or, as I always say, "Consider the courage," and all that. And behold, the man walking into deep silence with the ectoplastic cartoon's balloon of speech proceeding steadily from the front of his face. The words born along the breath, which is his spirit, telling the numberless tale of his untold word, which makes the world his apple and forces him to eat.
Let's wait quietly so our judges can deliberate. Okay. Now representing the sophomore class at, sorry, representing the sophomore class, Ana Lopez Melendez.
Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all, and sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me.
Okay, let's wait quietly so our judges can score. And now, representing the senior class, Marilyn Montañez Bache.
Advice from La Llorona by Deborah A. Miranda, a found poem. Each grief has its unique side. Choose the one that appeals to you. Go gently. Your body needs energy to repair the amputation. Humor phantom pain. Your brain cells are soaked with salt. Connections fail unexpectedly and often. Ask for help. Accept help. Read your grief like the daily newspaper. Headlines may have information you need. Scream! Drop kick the garbage can across the street. Don't feel guilty if you have a good time. Don't act as if you haven't been hit by a Mack truck. Do things a little differently. But don't make a lot of changes. Revel in contradiction. Talk to the person who died. Give her a piece of your mind. Try to touch someone at least once a day. Approach grief with determination. Pretend The finish line doesn't keep receding. Lean into the pain. You can't outrun it.
Once again, let's wait quietly while our judges deliberate. Quietly while our judges deliberate. Thank you. And lastly, representing the 10th grade class, Mahek Singh.
I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. I wandered, lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought, for oft, when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils.
All right, let's wait quietly for our judges to finish scoring. We have officially come to the end of the first round, so let's give all of our performance a big round of applause. Now we will move on to the second and final round. Okay, so please welcome once again Gabriela Bailey Rousseau.
The contract says we'd like the conversation to be bilingual, by Ada Limon. When you come, bring your brownness so we can be sure to please the funders. Will you check this box? We're applying for a grant. Do you have any poems that speak to troubled teens? Bilingual is best. Would you like to come to dinner with the patrons and sit patron? Will you tell us the stories that make us uncomfortable but not complicit? Don't tell us the one where you're just like us, born to a greenhouse, garden. Don't Tell us how you picked tomatoes and ate them in the dirt, watching vultures pick apart another bird's bones in the road. Tell us the one about your father stealing hubcaps after a colleague said that's what his kind did. Tell us how he came into a meeting wearing a poncho and tried to sell the man his hubcaps back. Don't mention your father was a teacher, spoke English, loved making beer, loved baseball. Tell us again about the poncho, the hubcaps, how he stole them, how he did the thing he was trying to prove he didn't do.
Let's give our judges a moment. Let us welcome now Charles Bouchard.
The Fair Singer by Andrew Marvell. To make a final conquest of all me, love did compose so sweet an enemy, in whom both beauties to my death agree, joining themselves in fatal harmony, that while she with her eyes my heart does bind, she with her voice might captivate my mind. I could have fled from one, but singly fair, my disentangled soul itself might save, breaking the curled trammels of her hair. But how should I avoid to be her slave, whose subtle art invisibly can wreathe my fetters of the very air I breathe? It had been easy, fighting in some plain where victory might hang in equal choice. But all resistance against her is vain, who has the advantage of both eyes and voice, and all my forces needs must be undone. She, having gained both wind and sun.
Okay, let's give our judges a moment. Let us welcome again Ana Lopez Melendez.
I Am the People, The Mob by Carl Sandburg. I am the people, the mob, the crowd, the mass. Do you know that all the great work of the world is done through me? I am the working man, the inventor, the maker of the world's food and clothes. I am the audience that witnesses history. The Napoleons come from me and the Lincolns. They die. And then I set forth more Napoleons and Lincolns. I am the seed ground. I am a prairie that will stand for much plowing. Terrible storms pass over me. I forget. The best of me is sucked out and wasted. I forget. Everything but death comes to me and makes me work and give up what I have. And I forget. Sometimes I growl, shake myself, and spatter a few red drops for history to remember. Then I forget. When I, the people, learn to remember, when I, the people, use the lessons of yesterday and no longer forget who robbed me last year, who played me for a fool, then there will be no speaker in all of the world to say the name, the people, with any fleck of a sneer in his voice or any far-off smile of derision. The mob, the crowd, the mass will arrive then.
Okay, let's give the judges a moment. Let us welcome once again Marilyn Montañez Bache.
Songs for the People by Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. Let me make the songs for the people, songs for the old and young, songs to stir like a battle cry wherever they are sung, not for the clashing of sabers, for carnage nor for strife, but songs to thrill the hearts of men with more abundant life. Let me make the songs for the weary, amid life's fever and fret, till hearts shall relax their tension and careworn brows forget. Let me sing for little children before their footsteps stray, sweet anthems of love and duty to float o'er life's highway. I would sing for the poor and aged, when shadows dim their sights of the bright and restful mansions where there shall be no night. Our world, so worn and weary, needs music, pure and strong, to hush the jangle and discords of sorrow, pain, and wrong, music to soothe all its sorrow, till war and crime shall cease, and the hearts of men, grown tender, girdle the world with peace.
And finally, let us welcome Mahek Singh.
Song of the Shattering Vessels by Peter Cole. Either the world is coming together or else the world is falling apart here. Now, along these letters, against the walls of every heart, today, tomorrow, within its weather, the end, or beginnings about to start, the world impossibly coming together or very possibly falling apart. Now, the lovers' mouths are open, maybe the miracle's about to start, the world within us coming together because all around us it's falling apart. Even as they speak, he wonders, even as the fear departs, is that the world coming together? Can they keep it from falling apart? The image gradually is growing sharper. Now the sound is like a dart. It seemed their world was coming together, but in fact, it was falling apart. That's the nightmare. That's the terror. That's the Isaac of this art, which sees that the world might come together if only we're willing to take it apart. The dream, the lore, is the prayer's answer, which can't be plotted on any chart, as we know. The world that's coming together without our knowing is falling apart.
Okay, let's give our judges a moment. Okay, we have officially come to the end of the second round. Let's give all of our contestants another round of applause. While the rest of the scores are being tallied, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our judges for taking the time to be here, as well as Henry, Felix, and the entire PAC team for everything they do. As a token of our appreciation, we would like to offer you these small gifts. Yes, we would, okay. I would also like to thank our contestants for their performances, as well as their hard work and dedication throughout the semester. This includes our other members of Poetry Out Loud, who participated in the semifinals and are in the audience today. To honor their efforts, I will call each student to the stage and present them with this certificate of placement in the semifinals, which took place in November. Nayelis Albino Cruz, Gabriela Bailey Rosso, Alejandra Barrientos Muñoz, Charles Bouchard, Jackson Jacobs, Ana López Meléndez, Marin Montañez Bache, Mahek Singh, and Gia Soto Torres. Look for the picture. Okay, you may hide backstage and go back to the audience. Thank you very much. The scores have officially been tallied. We have our winners. I know, exciting. As I call your names, please receive this certificate and remain on stage. Let's give a hand to our fourth runner-up, Gabriela Bailey Rousseau. Our third runner-up is Charles Bouchard. Our second runner-up, Ana Lopez Melendez. Can I get a little drum roll, please? Thank you. Now, we have to practice that for next year. Our first runner-up, Marilyn Montañez Bache. That means that our first place winner is Mahek Singh. Congratulations to all of you. Okay, thank you to you, our wonderful audience, for being here with us today. This wraps up today's contest, so seniors, you are dismissed. Don't leave, okay? Okay, you can go backstage, don't leave. None of you. Juniors, you are dismissed. Sophomores, you are dismissed.